Residents of Providenciales made their presence felt at the latest town hall meeting hosted by His Excellency Governor Gordon Wetherell and his senior administrators at the Gustavus Lightpoint Sports Complex last night. Despite the banning of media cameras from inside the meeting, the public aired their concerns over live radio and venting at the mounting issues which continue to plague the Turks and Caicos Islands. They came from all walks of life and nationalities as they expressed concerns with the current state of the economy, labor and industrial issues, rising unemployment, the staggering crime rate, immigration quarrels, crown land, and squatter laws. Those were just some of the major topics featured at last night's town hall meeting.
They've been concerned about the state of public finances, which we've tried to explain. They've been concerns about employment. They've been concerns about investment. They've also been concerns about island-specific issues. I mean, for example, the shortage of water at present in islands such as South Caicos and also Grand Turk. As you can imagine, in Middle Caicos and in North Caicos, I mean, concerns have included such issues as the causeway linking the two islands. There have been issues about agriculture, for example, in North Caicos, which came up.
Despite the media being barred from filming the open forum, which was attended by over 300 residents, all wanting their stories to be heard. News 4 spoke with His Excellency Gordon Wetherell before the meeting actually started, who gave us his take on what he plans to do to rectify the current issues facing the TCI.
I mean, we're at the point where the gap between revenue and expenditure has narrowed, but it still needs to narrow a little bit more. And there are various ways of doing that. One is through improved collection. Another is through variation in the rates of certain of the taxes that are here. I mean, some work on that has already been done. In fact, the previous cabinet approved a number of measures in gaming tax, for example, in the accommodation tax, which will increase the rates that are levied there. Those should be coming into force very soon. Now, but there may be scope for a little bit more. And as far as new taxes is concerned, I mean, there's been no decision taken on that yet, and we still need to see if they're necessary, what they should be.
However, residents were not too convinced at some of the governor's proposals, namely stating that economic recovery for the islands has been slow.
My name is Earl Barranco. I'm angry at what is taking place in our islands at this time.
Particularly what?
The employment situation. There are many foreigners here that has all the work in our islands, and there are many indigenous Turks and Caicos Islanders out of work. And simple economic states that that the people, the citizens of the country, must have money to buy the goods and services of their country. The services that they produce or the services that they import, that the people must have the money. So that will stimulate economic growth. At this time, we know what foreigners do. They take the money that they get and they send it back to their homes. I don't blame them, because I lived in America for a long time and I send money back home here too. But the government must look out for its people. The Turks and Caicos Islanders must be working in their islands. They must be given the first choice, the first chance to be employed. And they have kids in school, and they have their homes and mortgages to be paid. All of these things that affects the islands. And
the concerns of the people is real. The job situation is real. The immigration crisis and labor crisis is real. It shows that the bubble has burst, and there's no way of putting the genie back in the bottle. All it is now is for us to pick up the pieces and move on. Like Ms. Emma James said, some persons have too much pride in this country. Some persons don't care about their own brothers and sisters. Those college students who are home now looking for jobs, we have hundreds of them. We have students who finish high school coming from Grand Turk and South Caicos can't even find jobs. They can't even get into community college here or go off. These things that need to be addressed. They talk about the squatting in 5 keys. The squatting in 5 keys. I'm going to be honest. There's a word ethical and morally right. It is not ethical to break down someone's home. But if you know you're breaking the law by building the home illegally, then it's morally right to break it down. They did not follow the law by going for a planning permit and having the land approved. They choose to build it. The persons who sold them the land, bring them up on prosecution, take their assets from them, put them in jail because they did it. That's greedy people. And those people like that going to hell.
And there were some who were completely discontent with the governor's performance so far as head of the executive branch of the current TCI government. Some went as far as saying that he needs to relinquish his powers as head of state.
The governor and his team need to leave. That's the bottom line, okay? They know the job was risky before they take it. They need to get out of this country.
Why do you feel so?
Because they can't handle the job. They can't handle the job. That's the bottom line.
Last night was one of many stops for the governor, who has been touring the nation with similar meetings to address the Turks and Caicos Islands.